Alright, good morning. It's the next day. The first round of gluing up is dry. These are the strips that I'll use for the cores on the laminations for the top and back. The kerfing is still on the CNC. I'll take that off a bit later. We hit a realization today, or actually hit a realization yesterday at the end of the day. I went to go pick out the extremely figured quilted maple that I was going to use for the front and back of this guitar, the top and bottom, front and back, whatever. But this guitar is 16 inches wide at the bottom of the bass, at the lower hip region. And my widest somewhat figured board is just barely big enough, but it wasn't figured enough. So all of my really super figured stuff is all under 7.5. It's all too skinny. So I can't do the figured stuff unless I go find some more figured stuff. But in the end, going figured on this guitar was actually, I wasn't 100% on it. I wasn't fully requiring figured. In fact, I thought it'd be nice, but I recognized that it was a departure from the period correctness anyway. Add to that, it's a finishing challenge, because that figured stuff, I'd want to do some pretty cool things to make the curly and the quilted, whichever way I went, make the figure pop. But since there's already enough new things involved in this particular guitar build, and because it is important to me, it's very important, it's more important to me to be period correct than it is to be flashy or gorgeous figure. So the going highly figured was a secondary desire. First priority was period correctness, and since the figured was a departure from that anyway, I've decided we're going to just go with standard plain looking maple, nothing highly figured. I'm going to dig through my stack of maple. I've got about 200 board feet, or about 150 board feet of this maple that I got, and there's plenty of good stuff in that. So that's what we'll use to make the top and back instead of super highly quilted stuff. I'm going to save those. I have about 30 or so. I think it's about 30 slabs of very figured, mostly very figured stuff, but all of it's skinny. And I consider that the world telling me, nope, this should not be figured. This should be like it was done in '64. Plain, sawn, regular old maple. I'm not even sure if it was quartered, because I've seen many specimens where you could see the cathedral grain. So that is what's going to happen now. We're going to continue getting these cores glued up and ready to go. While those are drying, I'm going to go through the shed and pick out a suitable top and back board I can grab those skins from. So we'll get this tape off, and I'm going to edge join these and put it all together. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm making a big old panel that I can use to cut all the core plies out of, which are, I need 6 core plies to be period correct. So actually it's not really core plies alone, it's also the inside plies, which is fine. This stuff is solid enough and not ugly, and it should be fine. And we'll just bring you back when those are done. Okay, we got our sheets all glued up. So the basic gist, this is all about material savings, I guess. It's economy of material to some degree. I may find that I don't need to do this, but I have been trying. That's not very close together. So basically what we've got is enough for 4 going this way across the grain to do the fillers, and that does 4 on there, there's 2 there, and then 2 long grains to go this way, so I can have my bottoms. These are the inside plies here, and those would be the final core bits with a skin on top. So that should take care of that. So what I'll do is when the glue is dry, this seam, all the seams with tape are still drying. This one doesn't have a very good joint, but we'll be able to work with that. So once the glue's dry, we'll cut everything apart into rectangular bits. I've already marked a line here where the 2 halves will be, because this one was one of the first that got glued up. It's pretty close to dry already. So then after they're cut to bits, we'll put them through the drum sander and get them all uniform thickness. They're all way thicker than they need to be, so I should have enough. They're all twice as thick as they need to be, so they should be enough to get a smooth final thickness out of them. So let's go to the shed and pick. Well, it's rainy right now, but yeah, we have to go to the shed and pick out our surface, our top boards, our show boards, our board that does our show faces. Yeah, we'll do that next. All right, so we went out to the shed and grabbed a board that hopefully has something, maybe something pretty in it. I'm not sure if it will. If it doesn't, it's not a huge problem. This is a chunk of maple that I've got that, I don't know if you can tell from where you are sitting, but from where I'm sitting, there's potentially something nice. Can you see the mottled surface? It's also doing it on the underside. It's mottled here, a little bit there. So I think there might be something pretty going on inside here. I have to watch out. There was a branch right here, so I think I'm going to try to see what's under this zone right here. Alright, I dug out the block plane and set it kind of heavy just to get, the grain is going this way, just to get a glimpse, and I think I like what I see. Just even here is there's a little bit of rippling going on. So what I'm going to do, I think what I'll do is I'll cut out more than enough space here. I'll probably just lop the end off right about here, because that's about where that branch ends. Alright, so I cut it shorter, and we're going to take a bit off of these 2 corners here to get some of the twist on the underside so I can run it through the planer. It's too wide for my joiner, so this is set real fine right now. I'm going to take a little more here. And every single time I take a stroke with a plane, I am supremely pleased to see figure. Get in there, get in there. Grain's going the other way on me. And we're just knocking just a bit off, like a 16th or so. I've probably taken enough there. Do that to this side too. Some hard stuff, and we're basically just checking to make sure when I flip it over that I have a reasonably stable surface here. So we just flip it over. That's pretty solid. And we'll just take a very light skip off the top and get it somewhat true running, and then we'll flip it over and skim to the other side too. I think that'll work out well. So we were cutting into the board, the little planing, and I'm going to show you the first well, I'll show you what happened. So we started with this, right? Rough. A couple of little mottled bits all over. Not sure if that meant anything. Well, it meant something. Here's the first shot of it as I got a first glimpse out of the planer. Well, this, if there was any doubt in my mind about this board having any figure in it before, I think we're good. I am very, very, very pleased. My concerns of having pretty wood for this guitar are no longer concerns. We are in great shape. This is some blistered, fabulous looking stuff. And I've got a little bit of rough yet to get past, but this is going to be great. All right, so I'm still giddy about opening this board up and finding what I did, so excuse the out of breathness and excitement. So what we've got is more than enough board, width and length, and thickness, in fact, for getting all the top and back skins out of it. I also think if I put it in a little bit, so I've taken this pattern, this template, and I could come out to about here and do the book match. I mean, we'd lose a little because this surface is rough, but that leaves a fair bit of skin out here. But I'm looking at where the figure is, and it kind of dies down in here, but it's pretty interesting out here, so that's probably a good place for the horn. And it's kind of bland down in this area, so if I can head that way a little bit, it would not upset me. So we come out here, and I was also thinking about the sides, the side skins, the bent outside edges. I need some pretty stuff for that. This is 35 inches long. That side needs to be about 30 and a half or so. So I could take, devote like a half inch or an inch of this area to that, and use it to make the sides, because I think the side edge of this will be pretty figured as well. That puts us in a little bit further, puts the figured stuff right where that horn is, gets this bland area down in the end not so bad, and leaves a fair bit of extra for playing around. So I think that's what we'll do. Is I'm gonna probably, in fact, let's lay it out. Let's go. I don't know if I want to use. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. I really only want 2 strips of this pretty stuff for that. So we're gonna come out to right around in this area. In fact, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna joint this edge, see how good it looks, look at how much it has on it. And then we'll work out the rest of the yield for this. So let's go back to the joiner real quick and joint this edge. All right, some jointing. I think it might be too loud, we'll see. We have to take a fair bit off. There's about an 1/8 inch gap down there, so we're gonna take a fair bit. I think I've got the grain running the right way. If not, we'll flip it around. That's why I like to plane both surfaces. This may be a bit noisy, so I apologize in advance. Can't see my head. I'm here. Let's make some noise, shall we? Yeah, it's going to be a bit loud. Let's take a look here and see which way the grain's going. It's very hard to tell. I think the grain's moving all over the place. Let's take another pass here. It's really good over here. Little torn on this side, so there's no wind. It's a no wind thing. We'll just keep on going until we're uniform edge. That's pretty loud, I bet. Yeah, this is the hazard of working with figured stuff. Okay, the only tear out is on that little tiny bit there and right there, so I'm not too worried about the tear out. We're over to the bandsaw now. We're gonna take a couple of slices. I'm probably gonna take 3 maybe 4 slices of this because I want to pick the best stuff, and I want to get, you know, the sides. I want to make it as beautiful as I possibly can. Let's put some tension on that blade though to make sure that's good to go. All right, a little bit of noise protection for myself and a little for you guys too, probably. Here we go. All right, we got 4 out of this because I wanted to make sure I was very, very certain to have enough good stuff. So we've got 4 roughly similar shaped strips so that if I bend and we have a problem when they bend, they'll be okay. Okay, so I've off camera real quick just trimmed that board up to a bit more logical size. It's the size of the guitar now, so this little area here we'll be able to get more than, it's 9 inches wide, we only need 8, so we've got a little bit of play. And I set it around to get the figure right where it does its best work. And there's a good spot here, and there's a great spot down in here that needs some showcasing. So what we'll do is we'll run it through like this, get a slice off that's a bit thicker than we need. I only need 1/16 of an inch, but I'm cutting it at 1/8 strong, stronger than an 1/8, because there's a little tear out here, and that's how highly figured wood behaves. Is it tears out whenever you just don't have to look at it right, and it'll tear out. So we'll slice off a piece. We'll run to the planer. We may run to the planer. I could probably run this through the sander too. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll run it through the sander to avoid chip out from the planer. That's probably a wise move. Somebody wise thought of that. I don't know who that was, but so we'll just have this setting right about here. That actually simplifies the dust collection setup too. And so I'm going to get set up to do this and be very careful with what I get output. I just decided I was going to drum sand this instead of plane it so I can reduce the risk of tear out. Because it's pretty figured stuff, and figured stuff likes to tear, so we just run it through. Just take really light passes. In fact, I'm going to run it through the same setting a few times just to keep those passes very, very light. Definitely holds in the heat. It's kind of warm yet. Spin it around here just a little. So we're looking to get 4 really good thicknesses of this. So very lightly more. That's going to be just fine. We'll use that as our first face for slicing. Okay, phew, there's a lot of sanding. But in the end, we got 4 really nice boards, nice pieces. They're way thicker than they need to be, which is good. The book match is nice. I think what I'm going to do is take these ear things out of my ears first. Hey, that's much better. I can actually hear myself. So what I think we'll do is I think we'll do the glue up first, and then we'll run them through. So these two came off together, and then these two came off together. And I think ideally we'll run a hand plane over these real fast to make sure that they join really well. And then we'll glue these up, and then they'll run through the sander. So let's get ready for gluing again. Alright, so we've sanded them nice and smooth enough. They're not fully smooth, we're keeping them very thick. The idea is to get them so that they have a really good glue bond, so that when they go in the vacuum bag tomorrow, hopefully, they will stick together. I also put them in the vise, and I plan to plane them. I planed the edge so that there was a very good glue joint there, and I worked out the grain matching that I wanted and all that sort of stuff. So we're in the no turning back now, time to glue these panels together mode. And I'm going to use up a crap ton of glue on this because I want this to stick really well. So we'll just keep a nice, good, solid bead here. Remember, we're way over thick. We're almost double what we need it to be, so there's no problem with squeeze out being a problem for the finish or anything, because we're going to be sanding way down below the surface here. So we're just ready to screed that little bit off of the edge there, and then we'll set this down here. We'll set this one in here and rub the joint just a little, get them to capillary themselves together nicely. And I'm going to try to get the seams nice here. Just a little bit of pressure in the middle, and align the ends. Go like that. Okay, it's going to want to pop up, so that means we'll put a little weight on it down there. Get a little pressure on it on this side. It definitely wants to pop up. Put some weight on it over here. I think that'll be a decent seam. Pretty good and solid there. I'm going to leave that weight on it for now. We can do with just the one. I like it. I like that a lot. We'll get I'm actually going to leave the glue there, let it drip, let it do what it's got to do. I'm just going to get it a little bit tighter until it wants to lift that plane up just a bit. No, it's pretty good. I want this seam. This one is probably my front. Ooh, there we go. Just a little too much. Just a little too much pressure there. So we're gonna leave some more of this weight down here. And I'm gonna grab some more weight because I've got weight. Try not to use all of it here, but put a little bit of weight on it here. With a big plane on there, it helps. And number 5, I think that'll do. That's holding pretty well. I'm going to leave that one alone. We're not going to touch it. We'll get set up to do the second glue up. Okay. And this one is ready for a little gluey. Okay. Put some glue along this edge. I will say I'm a big fan of this glue bot. I'm starting to really like having it because it never have to wait for there to be glue toward the end of the nozzle, and when you stop, it stops. So when I give up pressure, it stops pushing any glue out, and I can just set it down. I'm good. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry about it. Get that, screed that edge. Put this down. Get some room here. And rub this joint together nicely. Okay. And we'll get some weight on it right away because I don't have any more planes laying around. Now we can push a little bit of clamping force here. A little more pressure there. And a little in this end. Yeah, that's perfectly in the middle of it. That'll work. Get a little squeeze. Give it a little more. Okay, we're going to grab some more weight. Just making sure we keep it all adequately poised. Oop, too much. A little more weight there. A little more weight towards the front. Now I'm going to go get some more planes. Some more weight on it. That'll hold it all down quite well, in fact. Okay, and now we wait for that glue to dry. I think we're going to be in good shape here. Everything looks reasonably, seams look reasonably flat. And that's it. That's the keeper front and back. So we'll be pulling those out of the clamps tomorrow, scraping out the glue, run everything through the sander, get it all the right thickness. So yeah, I think we'll be ready for the vacuum bag tomorrow. So anyway, that's it.